Hi everyone. So yesterday I was scouring the news and researching a lot of things as I do each day, and I came across these two headlines, these two articles, and I came across them, I think it must have been within 20 minutes of each other. I read both articles, and it just shows how much of an uneven and unfair society we have. Let me explain if you can't see the ridiculousness of those two headlines. So the first one was in BBC. Wrongly paid student grants totaling £3 million written off. Okay. Around £3 million wrongly paid to part-time students on distance learning courses will be written off, Wales's Education Secretary has announced. Kirsty Williams said payments including childcare and adult dependence grants and parents' learning allowance. Such grants for independence, GFDs, are for students physically studying at college rather than at home. She said 471 GFD applicants for 2018 to 2019 from students who received them the previously had been put on hold. In a written statement to Assembly members, Ms Williams said Student Finance Wales and the Open University in Wales had paid the grants in good faith due to a genuine misinterpretation of student support regulations that applied across the UK. So what this is the government have cocked up. The government and the system has obviously failed. They've spotted that it's failed, and rather than obviously go after these students and people who are payments for childcare and payments for other adult dependence grants, etc., rather than do that, they've said, right, okay, we'll stop it now, and what we've paid you we'll write off. That's okay, I think. I mean, obviously it's bad that they made a mistake in the first place, but mistakes do happen. It doesn't look like these students are actually taking advantage of a loophole or anything like that. It just looks like it's a mistake. So I'm sure you will agree that debt should be written off, and those students and people who get the money for childcare, etc., shouldn't have to pay it back. So that was good news. And then I saw this story literally half an hour later. Unpaid carers will be asked to repay up to £50,000 in benefit overpayments, the government says. What? Senior MP condemns ministers' ineptitude after revelation that people have wrongly received tens of thousands of pounds. So this looks like a similar situation. Why do they have to pay it back and the other people don't? Unpaid carers. This is from the Independent, as I say. Unpaid carers may be forced to repay up to £50,000 that they wrongly received in benefits, the government has said. Tens of thousands of people who received carers allowance were overpaid in 2018 by amounts ranging from £67 to nearly £50,000. Nearly £50,000 in carers allowance to one person. On a mistake. And ministers plan to make many of them repay the money. So he's not sure how many they will. The huge size of some of the overpayments was exposed by Frank Field, chair of the Commons Work and Pensions Committee, who condemned ministers' shocking ineptitude. No kidding. The veteran MP, who resigned the Labour whip earlier this year, because he's I won't go into that story, demanded an urgent investigation by the National Audit Office. Those among the UK's 6.5 million unpaid carers who earn less than £120 a week after tax and expenses are entitled to receive £64.80 a week in carers allowance. However, recipients often do not realise that they completely lose the right to repayment if their incomes rise even slightly above the threshold. So, if you're earning, if you're earning £119, you can get £67 a week. If you're earning £121, you can't. How does that make sense? Come on. It makes no sense to actually work harder and get a pay rise, because otherwise you're actually worse off. It's one of the problems with society, I suppose. £700 million of overpayments are believed to have been made in the last 5 years. Nearly £1 billion. 700 million. Nearly £1 billion. The DUWP said 69,609 people could be asked to repay money through deductions from their benefits. Right, that's the bit I wanted to get to and why I've read so much of this, because they won't be asked to repay money through their deductions from their benefits. They will be sanctioned without warning. That's what will happen. Reports suggest 1,000 of them may be prosecuted, while up to 10,000 could be forced to pay fines of up to £5,000. So it does look like, in some instances, people may have broken the law here. Mr. Field said, "It is unfathomable that the DWP could allow someone to accrue close to £50,000 in overpaid carers allowance. I don't understand that either. No carer should have to suffer as a result of shocking ineptitude, and I believe those overpayments are the fault of the government's own incompetence and should be written off with greater urgency." Right, Frank Field, I don't agree with him on a lot of things. That I totally agree with him on. I'm referring to this gross failure of the DWP to run properly the aspect of its duties to the National Audit Office to investigate. I just want to continue with a little bit more of this, because there's a bit I want to get to. The size of some of the overpayments was revealed in a letter to Mr. Field from Peter Schofield. I thought it was going to say Philip Schofield then, Permanent Secretary of the DWP. He said the biggest overpayment in 2017 to 2018 was 41,937, while the year before one was 47,000. How can they overpay one person that much? How can they pay who they're caring for? How many people they're caring for? 1 million? However, he insisted the DWP would take into account people's personal circumstances when trying to reclaim the money, meaning some people would not be asked to repay anything. Okay. That's not going to happen. They won't take into account people's personal circumstances, and I know that from personal experience. They will not do it. Mr. Field has written to the head of National Audit Office, Sir Amyas Morse, that's a name I've not heard of before, calling for an urgent investigation into the truly shocking matter. He wrote, "It is deeply concerning that the department has allowed claimants to accrue such eye-wateringly large overpayments, nearly £50,000 at the top of the range. More than just oversight, these figures suggest that systematic failings or gross incompetence or a combination of the two are at play. It is carers who will bear the brunt of these failings, as the department seeks to claw back money from people who can ill afford to lose it." Absolutely correct. A DWP spokesperson said, "We will work extremely hard to make claimants aware of their responsibility to provide correct information when making a benefit claim and to report any change in their circumstances. This includes informs customers of the consequences of incorrect and late reporting of information, including prosecution, financial penalty and debt implications." Quote, "We are also introducing new technology to make it easier to identify and prevent overpayments and improve debt recovery." Like I say, improve debt recovery. They won't, as it says in they won't. However, he insisted the DWP will take into account people's personal circumstances when trying to reclaim the money. They won't. They will do it by technology. People on benefits will be sanctioned without their warning. I can guarantee you that is going to happen, because that is what happened to people like me. That is the society we live. That's the country we live in, folks. You tell me. Is it fair that the students' grants of £3 million should be written off, but unpaid carers have to pay back stuff that's been wrongly attributed to them? Is that fair? I suggest it's not. And I suggest this is one of just yet another reason that we've got to get these Tories out, because they're just not fit for purpose. They couldn't run a piss up in a brewery. If you like this video and you want to see more, please subscribe and click the bell below so you get a notification of when I drop further videos. Independent voices like mine, I'm sure you're aware by now, are being censored across all social media platforms, so please like and comment on the videos. That really does help the channel out, and share the videos wherever you can to grow the audience. If you can, please support me on Patreon. You can do it for as little as $1 a month. I cannot do this without your help. I rely on your donations. Thanks very much for your support. It really is appreciated. Until next time, peace and take care.